Dan Dakich, ESPN college basketball analyst, host of the Dan Dakich Show on 1070 The Fan in Indianapolis. He called a lot of the summer league games in Las Vegas. We want to get on the Memphis Grizzlies bandwagon and print up some T-shirts. What do you think?
6'5", 225. I've lost 20 pounds. Yeah, man, you got to do it. Anytime you can win the summer league, I think that immediately goes to national media jumping on bandwagons, T-shirts, and ticket sales. Don't forget ticket sales. I'm guessing skyrocketed over the week. But, hey, Brandon Clark was really good. They played as a team. Grayson Allen calmed down a little bit, didn't get tossed after the one game that we did. And it is a great time, Dan. You've been out there. It's fantastic.
I have not, but the last couple of years, the last 3 years, I have watched more summer league basketball than maybe I've watched regular season basketball. For some reason, you know, we look at teams, and going into these seasons, we've said, oh, it's Golden State winning the title, but I sort of wanted to see how these teams can dream, and you see some of these younger players, but I just don't know what the proper summer league reaction should be. Like, what is the real takeaway from the summer league this year, in your opinion?
I don't. Well, a couple things. I think number one, the interest in the NBA in the summer. I mean, Dan, I was asking this question of NBA guys that actually make money in the NBA. Do you think the summer is more interesting than the regular season after Christmas? You know, because at Christmas we all watch the games because we're doing nothing, we're eating, we're watching. And then you fall into it in January, February, and okay. And then the playoffs are great. But, Dan, they all told me the same thing, man. They said, look, yeah, the summer's more interesting because of the free agency, because of, unlike other sports, Big D, big-time free agents move and shift the balance of the league. And name me another sport. I guess maybe baseball does that to a little bit. But you're not alone, Dan. I swear to God, I never watched the summer league until the last couple of years ever. And getting a chance, Dan, the other thing, those crowds were unbelievable. Like, there's a lot of stuff to do in Vegas. There is. You can find stuff at 10 in the morning, 11, 12, all the way, you know. And people came to the summer league. It was great. It really was. Fantastic.
Best young players you saw that you think will have an impact during the regular season?
Jackson Hayes is interesting, the kid from Cincinnati. I talked to a bunch of Cincinnati high school coaches that 2 years coached against him and didn't think all that much of him. They're amazing. Dan, I'm not sure I've ever seen, and I guess maybe I'll go back to Moses Malone, a kid that goes after everything on the backboard. I mean, everything. Like, he goes up and he goes again. If you know that rule they have in Europe where you can goaltend a shot, you know, you can basket interfere, it's not illegal. If they had that in the NBA, I swear to God, the kid would average 20 his first year because I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't. Lonnie Walker IV, who was hurt last year, is going to play for San Antonio. And the problem for San Antonio, Big D, is that, well, San Antonio is in the same side with Houston, who has two stars, the two L.A. teams that are great, Golden State. So we may even talk about San Antonio. But I'm telling you, man, Lonnie Walker, he's pretty damn good. And Brandon Clark, who was the MVP, he's not Kawhi Leonard, but he's that type of player, guard a bunch of spots, athletic, going to have to shoot it, and Kawhi had to shoot it coming out. But the talent was really, really good. It was fantastic. Jackson Hayes, I just marveled at him, and I do think what he does translate to the regular season because his energy is just off the charts.
Why wasn't John Morant playing?
I don't know. Nobody would tell me. You know, well, he's just not playing. Okay, well, I asked, why is he not playing? Well, you know, he just not. Okay. You know, they all tried to say that, like, he didn't play, Ty Jerome didn't play.
Wait, is this load management already for John Morant?
Don't know. Yeah. They all tried to say something about the contract and trades, and everything went back to Anthony Davis. Like, the Anthony Davis deal didn't get done, so Memphis couldn't play John Morant. I don't know. I honestly don't. And truth is, Dan, you know when somebody can tell you on the phone something, but when you're looking at them and they tell you the same thing, you can tell whether they're BSing you or not. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's all I got was like 15 different answers, and none of them seem real.
Well, unless it was because he had a minor knee procedure. So that was right after the draft. So that's the only thing I thought of is, you know, maybe they just don't. I mean, there's no reason to put him out there. It's like Zion Williamson. Should he have been out there in the first place, whether he's in shape or not?
Well, I mean, depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, if you're trying to see, different things from him, then if he's in shape, then yes. But if you know he's not in shape, no way do you put him out there. Not a chance. And if it is John Morant's deal, then absolutely not a chance. I mean, you just can't do that. Who cares? I mean, Dan, let's be honest. I mean, I don't know. Seems to me like if Durant and Klay Thompson don't both get hurt, Golden State's going to win the title. There's no sense in risking anybody in the summer league. I mean, again, like if you want to see if Zion Williamson can bring the ball down and play a point guard or a five against certain teams, then maybe, but not if he's not in shape, and he was clearly not in shape.
What are reasonable expectations for Zion Williamson this year?
Oh man, I think I've said this before. I think he's the smartest player coming into professional basketball this year, and he's uber talented, which we know. I think reasonable expectations based on the way the NBA goes is that he has great numbers, and I'm talking like 18-9 or 18-10 or something like that. I just think that's the way the NBA is set up. It's set up for stars when you're the star of your team. And I think that the NBA rules put itself where you can score. I mean, if you can do things with the basketball, and he can, you can score.
But people are going to be disappointed at 18-9, Dan.
I don't think so. Not as a rookie.
I wouldn't be. I'm taking the under. I'm very cautious with this because I've seen guys go into the league and you go, boy, you can't miss, and all of a sudden you go, wait, what's happening here? And I also think he's such a great team player that I think just like he did at Duke, he wants everybody to enjoy what he's enjoying, and I think I think he'll really be conscious of that. I don't think R.J. Barrett's going to put up more numbers, I think, than Zion because that's his mindset, and he's playing for the Knicks. Zion, to me, is a lot more team-oriented, and if you gave me 18-9 for Zion, I would say I love it, but I think people will be disappointed in that.
Well, people can be, but then it comes down to do they win, and do they win with him? See, Dan, the reason I went 18-9 is because of exactly what you said. My initial inkling is, okay, about 20, 22, 24, and then I thought about exactly what you said, and he's a team guy. He'll pass the ball. Look, you remember when LeBron James came into the league and everybody got mad? I remember against Detroit in the playoffs, he drove it, kicked it to Daniel Marshall, who was a corner shooter. And, you make the right play sometimes in the NBA, you get criticized, right? Because you're not trying to dominate, you're not trying to score. And I think Zion Williamson is a right play kind of guy. But I also think this. Now, again, Dan, let me ask you this. Over under 82 games, how many does Zion Williamson play?
Assuming he's healthy.
Huh?
Assuming he's healthy, like they're that.
No. I'm saying if does he get hurt?
Oh, okay.
Do they sit him? You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like right now everybody told me he's about 15 pounds overweight. All right, let's just assume he starts the season healthy, okay? How many games? Do you think he plays 80 games?
No.
Do you think he plays 70 games?
I'll say 72 games.
That's kind of where I was like at 73. I figured he'd miss 10 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, maybe they load manage him. Maybe he gets hurt. I don't know. But I do think this. I think two things with Zion Williamson. I think, number one, he's got to get in great shape. And I think that's hard for a kid his age. I just do. And number two, he's got to shoot the basketball. He's not Ben Simmons where he makes others better driving the ball as a point guard, that kind of stuff. But he's going to have to shoot the basketball. And, Dan, I always go to this. And maybe I've said this on your show, and I love Calbert Chaney, my favorite player ever to coach. But when he came out of college, that three-point line in the NBA, the difference was too deep for him.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's too deep for most humans. When you go, this college three is not a big deal. You move out a couple of feet and you're going, holy smokes, this is a long way. You were talking about Ben Simmons. How do you not have the workings, the makings, like something I can build on with a shot? That he finishes everything with his right hand, but he shoots his so-called jumper with his left hand. Like I don't get this.
Man,
I don't get it.
Man, it's the stiffest arm action I've ever seen. I did a couple of his games at LSU, and people got mad at me because I said, this might be the only guy that I've ever watched. That's a good player, like that's a really good player that will never be able to shoot the basketball. Like Magic couldn't shoot coming out, but you could see his elbow was under the ball.
Yeah.
He just didn't really think it was important. This dude has the stiffest shoulder to fingertip, and it's like, that Supreme Court justice say about porn. I can't define it, but I know it when I see it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Ben Simmons. I can't define it, but I know it when I see it. It's just so stiff that Dan, maybe when he's 7 years into the league, he'll figure it out, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. I really don't.
Yeah, but I don't. You talked about Magic, and I brought up Magic too, because Magic at least had the workings of a form.
Right.
And Ben doesn't have form. I can help, if you say, let me see your shot. Okay. I tuck the arm, elbow in a little bit more here. Get a little bit tighter here. Don't be so loose with, whatever. Use your legs a little bit more. With him, I wouldn't know where to start.
Dan, the one thing I know in basketball is how to teach shooting. I mean, that's the one thing I know. I mean, and I swear to God, it's the same thing. Usually I can see, all right, if he would just get his shoulders a little bit out in front of his feet, if he would just step in more, if he would just keep his elbow under, he needs wrist action off the big three fingers, that kind of thing. But I'm telling you, I swear to God, he's the only guy, Dan, I've ever seen. You could teach him that, and it's just so stiff. I'm trying to think it's like Charles Barkley's golf swing. It's like, all right, where do you start with all of this? And no matter what you do, it's going to end up poorly. I think you just hope that repetition becomes muscle memory, becomes efficient shot. But I'm telling you, you're so right. There is I don't know, start underwater. Do something. I have no I don't know.
But, Lonzo Ball all of a sudden has a good-looking jumper after I watch Ben Simmons.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball is Rick Mount, for crying out loud. Ooh. Lonzo Ball, yeah, that's an Indiana reference, obscure back in the day. But that's all right. You got it. Because you're a shooter. You're a baller.
Yeah. I've
seen the videos.
Would you rather have Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid?
I want Joel Embiid, man. I want Joel Embiid to stop being a Twitter funny guy. I want Joel Embiid to get in great shape, and I want to go win championships with Joel Embiid. I want Joel Embiid to sit down with, like, the mean guys of the league, like sit down with Magic and Bird being serious, Isaiah being serious, and have them have a serious discussion on being an absolute killer as a basketball player. And I want Joel Embiid, like, cut, ripped, and I think he could be the best player on the planet. I just think that all the silly stuff gets in the way.
Would you rather have Anthony Davis or the Greek Freak?
Oh, man, I would have said before, like Christmas, I would have said Anthony Davis, but, man, I like me some Greek Freak. Greek Freak, to me, is the only guy that I've seen that teams play off of him with great athletic guys, and he still drives and dunks over them. I'm honest to God, I love Anthony Davis. I'd like to have both, but I'm kind of sold on the Greek Freak right now. I'd like to see Anthony Davis healthy for a year and playing with LeBron. That may change, in 6 months, but right now, give me the Greek Freak. Great stuff with the Summer League. I really enjoyed the broadcast. I thought you guys had some good chemistry, and it was fun to listen to. Appreciate the text, Big D. Appreciate you guys having me. You're the best. Dan Dakich, ESPN college basketball analyst, former college coach, Continental Tire Coach's Corner. Proud supporter of the Dan Patrick Show. Continental Tire is, and Dan Dakich is as well.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.